Hello, welcome. If you are on this journey to embodied realization, to realizing your true eternal nature, to feeling it, knowing it, expressing it, and having your life and your world be a reflection of who you truly are, if you're doing that in this lifetime, then this message is for you. A lot of people, pretty much everyone on this journey, at not just one point, many points, feels like, when are things going to change? Will this ever end? I've been in this loop, in this cycle, this Groundhog Day. And how do you get out of Groundhog's Day? How do you shift your reality? There's sort of a perception that it's just going to happen overnight. And in a way, it does happen through allowing, through being in your breath and your presence and your isness. But you can't sit in breath, presence, and isness all day, right? You get up, you have a life, you shower, you go do things with people, whatever your life looks like throughout your day. As long as you have a body, you have a mind, and you're going to have thoughts. And you're going to have your energies and the emotional energies that are all around. You're always going to have the option to identify with and engage with the old energy. It will always be available to you. So, if you're familiar with the concept of and, like the human and the divine, if you're in your clarity, you're aware, oh, this is like the human identity. My divine essence is love, isness, benevolence. So how do we shift? Will it ever end? How do you get it to end? Well, it's not about fighting or being in opposition or judging the old energy. So it is not that. However, it is a very conscious choice. There is a conscious choice that is made probably hundreds of times every day. So all throughout your day, as you're integrating, you will be aware of thoughts and feelings from the identities. And it's not to fight with them or battle them or belittle them or put them down. We honor everything that was created. So it's nothing in denial of the human. And it doesn't mean that you're denying the human when you choose your divinity. So it's like in every moment, this old voice, aspect, feeling, thought, story comes up, and we shift over here and go, no, I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to choose this one. One step at a time. One seemingly arduous, tedious step at a time. And it does feel like that. At least it felt like that for me. One thing that I can share with absolute embodied knowingness is this. Feeding these other stories or thoughts, giving them any inkling of energy, it really doesn't serve you. Feeding this, your essence, your knowingness, your isness, even just neutrality, it is what it is. However you get to it. If it's love, great. If it's isness, great. But choosing joy over and over again, enjoyment, taking the little moments in life of joy. When the thoughts start coming at you, going, no, I'm going to go over here and do this instead. No, I'm going to do this. It is a continual process of rewriting the mind. Now, if you've been getting pulled back into the old stuff, oftentimes you might see or hear or watch facilitators. They're talking about bliss and love and joy, and you're just like, shut up. I've felt that way many times. You go out, you read some posts about fluffy love and you want to light your phone on fire. Okay. And that's normal. Okay. But if you're feeling that, maybe it's time to set the phone down and say, how can I just love myself right now? Instead of going into it. Doesn't mean you have to try to look at it, try to like it, try to enjoy it. And why do people who have gone through this appear so indifferent, so like out of touch with reality? Well, that's kind of what I wanted to share today. I mean, the more that you keep choosing this joy, this benevolence, this love, and it's a conscious effort, okay? If there is effort, this is the effort. To move from an old pattern into new takes effort. Every choice, it takes awareness and then a conscious effort to switch over. But every time you do that, over and over and over again, this dies off and this grows. It's just consciousness. It's just the way consciousness works. Where you put your focus, consciousness grows. And eventually, this stuff over here becomes, it almost becomes like your reflex to just be like, yeah, whatever. But you have to start with that conscious effort. It starts with you. That is the purpose of this video. And I feel like it's important to share because there were times that I didn't realize how I was sort of unconsciously just sitting in this and watching it all and just watching it instead of kind of turning my attention over here. It's like you have to say, where can I shift my attention to? What sounds like fun right now? What sounds joyful? What sounds loving? What sounds enjoyable? What can I do that sounds great? I've made a million videos about breathing and feeling and breathing and feeling. Yeah, always do that. But we have a body, so we don't want to deny our human lives, right? And how do we take this divinity and integrate it into our humanness? And that is about taking your action, your conscious action, in and starting to meld it with things that are joyful, fun, enjoyable, feel good for you, whatever that may be. Stuff that feels nurturing. And at times, I'll speak for where I am on my journey. At times it goes kind of beyond nurturing into, taking more leaps into unknown things, adventures, things like that. Things that the mind a lot of times doesn't want to do or isn't comfortable with. And there is I will call it, again, I'm just speaking from my own experience here. Maybe this doesn't apply to you, but there's an unconscious laziness. A laziness and like a resistance to going over here. Almost a sense of like entitlement. Like I've been working so hard. I felt this sense of laziness many times because it does take like this effort of turning your energy this way. So if you feel like you've been stuck in that whirlpool, maybe this will ring a bell. Maybe maybe this is me. I've shared about my journey, if you've read my website or anything, where I had this near-death experience in 2015, which was like an initial realization, a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. It happened after, weeks, months, years. Really, it was a culmination of a couple years of not working and sitting and breathing and feeling and not thinking, when this darkness arose from within me, and it was horrific and putrid and scary, and the most terror I've ever felt just arose, and it was going to consume me, and I wanted to run. Like I felt my presence lifting up out of my body, like I don't want to be in this body. And I said no. And this was a couple years into serious I'm going for it. I'm in 100%. I'm not turning back. And I said, no, I'm staying in my body. And then it started to suck me into my body, into my core, portal after portal. And I felt as though I was being, what do I say? What do I share here? It was like in every portal, I was dying over and over, or killing. It was very horrific stuff. It was the horrific stuff that kept the fear and the separation within me. And as I, wanted nothing more than to run away, I said, screw it. I either am that I am. I'm either eternal or I'm going to find out if I'm not. That's what I said. Higher levels take command, the I am that I am, like I'm handing it over to God, whatever. The universe, God, my I am, it's all the same to me. And when I surrendered into myself, it started to consume me. And I felt my body explode, my head explode. I was so shocked I still had a body when I came back, because what I experienced was going through all these portals, and I wasn't watching myself. I was experiencing like the real experience of all sorts of what I perceived as like gruesome, scary, horrific deaths. Okay. But what I learned in surrendering was that I can't die. I mean, the body can. That's why I was happy to have a body. But my eternal nature was revealed in that moment. When I came back to the body, I streamed back. I fell in this way, but I streamed back in this way, like a single tone. And there was such elation and relief. The absolute, complete, and total relief of knowing that all is well within my world, my life, the world, humanity, the earth, the universe. It's all in flow. And there's really never been anything, quote, wrong in the eyes of myself as a facet of the whole universe. Now that sounds very like romantic, doesn't it? Oh, and it was pretty epic. But if I had known then what I know now, I don't know if I would have come back. Well, obviously I knew, but my human self did not know. So when I came back, I saw all these children. They were all me at different ages. And I wasn't able to fully embody the full expression of myself. Not that we're able to hold that full vibration in our body, but you know what I mean? There were unintegrated human parts. And it became a very tedious journey, very tedious, and it required incredible commitment, diligence, and persistence. And on one hand, I was super, super blessed because I had this knowing that these are all just little aspects, right? And I had this knowing of who I am, like a real knowing. But a lot of people go through this process very differently. For myself, 2 years before that, I was on tremendous medications. The vibration of the body was so low and dense. I couldn't hold a very high frequency. So I kind of did it a little bit backwards, where then I had to spend years and years and years continuing to choose over and over and over again, rather than align with the human aspects, to align with my divine facets, my divine knowing, over and over and over, like probably 1 million decisions since then. Every day you make thousands of decisions, right? Which thoughts to give power to, what to do, what stories to start chewing on or not chewing on. So we make like thousands of decisions every day in the mind. Now, some folks do this in a different way where they're step by step incrementally elevating the vibratory frequency of the body through the work they've done over the years. And they just keep going, doot, 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 and then poof, they have that realization and they're able to integrate everything, right? That wasn't my experience. I'm still integrating. So I've not experienced my full embodied, integrated self, right? And it doesn't matter because I keep choosing every day. I choose to align with my real self. It doesn't mean that I could always feel it. At times it was like a shot in the dark, is what it felt like. Like I was blindfolded and just saying, I'm just going to keep choosing love. I'm just going to keep choosing love. I'm just going to keep choosing love, joy, enjoyment, what feels good. And that doesn't mean that there weren't times that huge emotions didn't come up. Huge amounts of anger to be released from the body, not to be identified with, but to be worked out. Some people, I like to dance, but I smashed a couple things at my old house. Things that weren't important, I consciously did it. Maybe you like to go out and, I don't know, like chop wood or whatever, chop wood, carry water, But getting that emotional energy out of our body is important. So movement, as I've said before, does help. But one thing I can say for certain is if you keep choosing in your clarity, if you keep choosing your heart, love, benevolence, isness, it will get lighter and lighter. You will feel it. And it might take years, depends. Everyone's different. Everyone's journey is different. It might take many, many years. But it's okay. Because once you get to a point where you're feeling that consistent ease of always just aligning with yourself, it's worth it. It's so worth it. I can't stress that enough. It takes effort up front to shift your focus, whatever your stories, whatever's been running, whatever you feel every morning. If you're feeling that heaviness, that density, it's like, okay, well, what can I do today? What can I do? What can I do with what's around me? What can I do with what is right here? So sometimes we'll see the folks who have gone all the way poof and have been, we'll say, fully integrated for a while, maybe many years, and it seems like they've almost like lost touch with reality, or they're like la 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 la. Well, I can tell you from my perspective now, I can understand that, because what happens is you keep choosing this divinity, you choose it, and that old stuff, it just starts to disappear, almost like it never happened. There's times I go, oh yeah, I forgot that I used to feel that way. Oh yeah, I forgot what it was like. Working with people now, one-on-one, has been helpful to remind me of what it felt like maybe 3 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago. And it's like, oh yeah, it can feel really, really brutal at times. And it's okay. If it feels brutal, if it feels like, will this ever end? Maybe I just should throw the towel in. Am I ever going to make it? What did I do wrong? Or why does everything seem to be going great for other people and not for me? We've all felt that way, okay? I'm gonna make a blanket statement right now, and if any other facilitators watch my stuff, which I doubt, but even the people that seem like over the moon, fully embodied, integrated, enlightened, whatever words you want to call it, they've felt that way too. So it's completely normal, but just keep choosing. It's that conscious choice. You don't just wake up overnight and it happened. You keep consciously choosing. And as you do it, you're rewriting your mind. You're like realigning all the energies. You're, resequencing, realigning everything within you, and it's continuous. But it gets lighter and lighter, more joyful, easier. It gets much easier. So if you're having a struggle with that, I just wanted to share this today and tell you to hang in there. I'm with you. I've been there. We've all been there. Nobody goes through this path without experiencing the depths, the really tough, hard, sometimes seemingly horrific stuff. But just remember, this is the journey of a lifetime, of all lifetimes. It's kind of the ultimate thing. You know, people talk about goals. Do you have any life goals? Any plans? What would you do if you could do anything? We're doing it. From a universal beingness, we're doing it. What would you do if you could do anything? You're doing it. So take a breath. Give yourself a pat on the back. Tell yourself, good job, because you're doing a great job. You've made it this far. That's amazing. So, and the fact that we're all doing it together, it really helps. We're all here to support each other. So you're not alone. With that, let's close with a nice deep breath. Let's do it again. All the way down deep into your belly. Don't skimp. Let your shoulders drop, jaw relax, shake it out. If you got any tension, give yourself a little shake. Tell yourself, good job. And just remember, you're not alone. All right, namaste.